Hey everyone! Welcome back to Next Play Analysis. In today's video, we're diving into the matchups for NFL Week 14 of 2024. To make it easy for you, we've provided timestamps in the description so you can jump straight to the in-depth predictions for your favorite matchups. But that's not all. Stay tuned because we're also gearing up to upload videos on the best betting sites, top crypto betting platforms, essential betting tools, and insider betting groups. Plus, we'll share the latest bonuses that can save you money or give you extra funds to maximize your bets. We'll also take a look back at our Week 13 predictions and share our accuracy percentages, giving you even more reasons to trust our insights. If you find this video helpful or informational, make sure to hit that like button and share it with your football-loving friends and groups. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to get early predictions that help you plan and strategize with confidence. Your support not only helps us grow but also enables us to bring you even better resources and insights as we approach the Super Bowl. Now, let's get started. In this part 1 of our video, we will look into the following Week 14 matchups. 1. Green Bay Packers vs. Detroit Lions. 2. New York Jets vs. Miami Dolphins. 3. Atlanta Falcons vs. Minnesota Vikings. 4. New Orleans Saints vs. New York Giants. 5. Carolina Panthers vs. Philadelphia Eagles. 6. Cleveland Browns vs. Pittsburgh Steelers. 7. Las Vegas Raiders vs. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 8. Jacksonville Jaguars vs. Tennessee Titans. And the following are NFL Week 14 buys for 2024. 6 teams are on bye this week: Baltimore Ravens, Denver Broncos, Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, New England Patriots, Washington Commanders. This is the final week for buys in the 2024 season, giving these teams a chance to rest, recover, and prepare for the critical stretch of games ahead. Some general strategy tips. Monitor injury reports. Pay attention to any late changes, particularly for key Chicago players like DeAndre Swift, who may affect their offense. Team strengths. Detroit's offense is balanced, and their defense has the edge over Chicago's offense. Diversify bets. Spread your bets across different categories: moneyline, player props, total points, to reduce risk. Live betting. Adjust your strategy based on the flow of the game. If Chicago falls behind, the over on total points may become a more favorable option. Starting with our first matchup: Green Bay Packers vs. Detroit Lions. Green Bay Packers overview. The Packers head into their Week 14 matchup against the Detroit Lions with a focus on maintaining momentum as they battle for a playoff spot. Quarterback Jordan Love has showcased improvement in recent weeks, connecting effectively with key targets such as Christian Watson and Jaden Reed. Running back Josh Jacobs continues to be a crucial offensive weapon, delivering consistent performances on the ground. Defensively, the Packers rely on the leadership of Kenny Clark and the dynamic play of Quay Walker, who have been pivotal in containing opposing offenses. This game against the Lions will test the Packers' ability to overcome a strong Detroit defense while finding ways to slow down the Lions' high-powered offense. Key players. Jordan Love, quarterback. The Packers' signal caller has demonstrated growth, showing promise in leading the offense. Josh Jacobs, running back, a vital component of Green Bay's rushing attack, capable of game-changing plays. Quay Walker, linebacker, a defensive standout with the ability to disrupt plays and lead the defensive unit. Injury report. Jair Alexander, cornerback, knee, did not practice. Romeo Dew, wide receiver, concussion, did not practice. Detroit Lions overview. The Detroit Lions have been one of the most dynamic teams in the NFC this season. Quarterback Jared Goff has been playing at a high level, connecting well with standout receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown and tight end Sam Laporta. The Lions' offense is potent, ranking among the league's top units in both passing and rushing yards. Running back David Montgomery has been instrumental in their success on the ground, providing balance to the offense. Defensively, the Lions are led by linebacker Alex Anzalone and cornerback Jerry Jacobs, who have been key in helping the team control games. As they face the Green Bay Packers in Week 14, the Lions will look to maintain their playoff positioning and continue to assert dominance in their division. Key players. Jared Goff, quarterback, the leader of the Lions' high-powered offense. Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver, one of the most consistent playmakers for Detroit. David Montgomery, running back, a reliable weapon in the Lions' backfield. Injury report. Carlton Davis, cornerback, knee/thumb, did not practice. Taylor Decker, tackled knee, did not practice. And now, let's get into our predictions for Packers vs. Lions. 1. Moneyline betting strategy. Current odds: Lions -200, Packers +170. Analysis. The Detroit Lions are favored, driven by Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Green Bay's offensive inconsistency makes them a riskier choice. Strategy. Bet on the Lions, -200, reliable with their balanced team. Bet on the Packers, +170, a potential upset if Green Bay's defense excels. Potential payout. Lions, -200, $150 return on a $100 bet. Packers, +170, $270 return on a $100 bet. 2. Point spread betting strategy. Spread, Lions -7. Analysis. Detroit's potent offense should control the game. Green Bay's inconsistency might limit their ability to compete. Strategy. Bet on Lions to cover, -7, Detroit is likely to win by over 7 points. Packers to cover, +7 if their defense steps up, Green Bay could keep the game closer. 3. Over, under, total points. Betting strategy. Over, under, 47.5. Analysis. Detroit's high-scoring tendencies and Green Bay's potential reliance on a competitive passing game might lead to a high total. Strategy. Bet the over, 47.5, likely if both offenses produce effectively. Consider live betting. The total may adjust if Green Bay starts slow. 4. Player props betting strategy. Key players. Jared Goff, likely to surpass passing yards props. Amon-Ra St. Brown, expected to excel in receiving yards. David Montgomery, could perform well in rushing yards. Rashawn Gary, props on sacks or tackles are attractive. Strategy. Goff passing yards, target high performance against Green Bay. St. Brown receiving yards, favorable due to Packers' secondary issues. Montgomery rushing yards, exploits Packers' defensive weaknesses. 5. Game props betting strategy. First team to score, Lions due to early game offensive strength. Total sacks, expect Detroit's defense, led by Aiden Hutchinson, to pressure Jordan Love. Strategy. Bet on Lions to score first. Take the over on total sacks. 6. First half spread/total betting strategy. First half spread, Lions -3.5. First half total, over 21.5. Analysis. Detroit should build an early lead with their offense. Strategy. Bet on Lions to cover, -3.5, likely halftime leaders. Bet the over on total, 21.5, both sides should contribute points. 7. Parlay betting strategy. Parlay 1. Lions to cover, -7. Over 47.5 total points. Goff over 250 passing yards. Parlay 2. Lions to score first. Hutchinson over 0.5 sacks. Lions to win by 7 to 13 points. In conclusion, the Lions are well positioned as favorites for Week 14, offering multiple betting opportunities across spreads, props, and parlays, with their offensive consistency and defensive prowess likely to dominate the Packers. Now, let's take a look at the next matchup on the slate. New York Jets vs. Miami Dolphins. New York Jets overview. The Jets have struggled offensively but remain reliant on their defense, which has performed well despite injuries. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers has contributed over 2,400 passing yards, though turnovers have been a concern. Breece Hall is a key offensive weapon, as his performance in the running game is crucial for balance. Key players. Aaron Rodgers, quarterback, the leader of the offense, crucial for both passing yards and leadership. Breece Hall, running back, his health is vital to the Jets' ground game. Injury report. Tyron Smith, offensive line, neck, did not participate, adding uncertainty to the Jets' offensive line. Breece Hall, knee questionable. Hall's availability will be critical for the running game and offensive balance. Miami Dolphins overview. The Miami Dolphins remain one of the NFL's most potent offenses, led by Tua Tagovailoa and the explosive Tyreek Hill. Their ability to make big plays downfield will be crucial in their Week 14 matchup against the New York Jets. While the Dolphins have a high-powered offense, their defense has occasionally struggled, particularly in coverage and against the run. Miami will need to tighten up defensively while continuing to utilize their offensive weapons effectively to secure a win. Key players: Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback, a key figure in Miami's offense. Tagovailoa's accuracy and ability to distribute the ball to his playmakers will be essential for success. Tyreek Hill, wide receiver, arguably the league's most dangerous wide receiver. Hill's speed and route running are a constant threat to opposing defenses. Jalen Ramsey, cornerback, one of the league's premier cornerbacks. Ramsey's ability to lock down top receivers will be crucial to limiting the Jets' offensive plays. Injury report: Tyus Bowser, linebacker, knee/calf DNP, did not practice. Kendall Fuller, cornerback, concussion DNP, did not practice. Let's jump ahead and break down the predictions for Jets vs. Dolphins. 1. Moneyline betting strategy. Current odds: Dolphins -220, Jets +180. Analysis: the Dolphins are the favorites, with their potent offense led by Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek Hill. Miami has been dominant this season, while the Jets' strength lies in their defense. However, the Jets may struggle to contain Miami's high-powered offense. While New York could pull off an upset, they'll need a standout defensive performance to have a chance. Strategy: bet on Dolphins, -220. Miami's offense should have the upper hand, making them the safer choice. Bet on Jets, +180. A riskier bet on the Jets could pay off if their defense can disrupt Miami's offensive rhythm. Potential payout: Dolphins, -220. A $100 bet returns $145, including the original stake. Jets, +180. A $100 bet returns $280, including the original stake. 2. Point spread betting strategy. Spread: Dolphins -6. Analysis: Miami's offense is expected to dominate, and the Jets may struggle to keep pace offensively. While New York has a solid defense, it might not be enough to prevent Miami from covering the spread. Strategy: bet on Dolphins to cover, -6. Miami should be able to cover the spread with their offensive firepower. Jets to cover, +6. If the Jets' defense performs well and slows down the Dolphins, they might be able to keep the game within 6 points. 3. Over, under, total points. Betting strategy: over, under, 48. Analysis: given Miami's explosive offense, the total points are likely to trend toward the over. The Jets may struggle to score, but with Miami's ability to score quickly, this could still lead to a higher scoring game. Strategy: bet the over 48. The Dolphins' offense will likely push the game toward a high total, but if the Jets fall behind, the over could be more appealing. Consider live betting. If Miami takes an early lead, live betting on the over might offer more value. 4. Player props betting strategy. Key players: Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback. Tagovailoa should surpass his passing yards prop given Miami's fast-paced offense. Tyreek Hill, wide receiver. Hill is a top target and likely to exceed his receiving yards prop. Breece Hall, running back. Hall could see more work in this matchup, especially if the Jets look to control the clock. Strategy: Tagovailoa passing yards. Bet on Tagovailoa to exceed his passing yards prop, given his consistency. Hill receiving yards. Expect Hill to exceed his receiving yards prop, as the Jets may struggle to contain him. 5. Game props betting strategy. First team to score. Miami is likely to score first, given their high-powered offense. Total sacks. The Jets may generate some pressure on Tagovailoa, but Miami's offensive line has been strong this season. Strategy: bet on Dolphins to score first. Miami's efficient offense should put them on the board early. Take the over on total sacks. Expect a few sacks in the game, with the Jets' defense applying pressure when possible. 6. First half spread/total betting strategy. First half spread: Dolphins -3. First half total: over 21.5. Analysis: Miami should lead at halftime with their fast-paced offense. Even if the Jets' defense performs well, Miami's scoring ability should push the total points over in the first half. Strategy: bet on Dolphins to cover first half spread, -3, expect Miami to be leading by a field goal at halftime. Bet the over on first half total, 21.5, with both teams expected to score, the first half total should exceed 21.5. 7. Parlay betting strategy. Parlay 1. Dolphins to cover, -6. Over 48 total points. Tagovailoa over 250 passing yards. Parlay 2. Dolphins to score first. Hill over 80 receiving yards. Jets to cover, +6. Analysis. A parlay with the Dolphins covering the spread, the total going over, and Tagovailoa surpassing 250 passing yards offers solid value. Alternatively, a parlay with Miami scoring first, Hill going over 80 receiving yards, and the Jets covering could also be worth considering. Choose bets strategically by considering Miami's strong offense, New York's defensive potential, and value in diverse betting options like spreads, totals, and player props. Moving on, here's an overview of the upcoming game: Atlanta Falcons versus Minnesota Vikings. Atlanta Falcons overview. The Falcons have a solid core with Kirk Cousins, a reliable quarterback who makes the most of his targets. Bijan Robinson, their standout running back, continues to provide explosive plays and balance the offense. Grady Jarrett is a force on the defensive line, and Caden Ellis' versatility adds flexibility to the defense. Key players. Kirk Cousins, quarterback, a seasoned leader. Cousins manages the offense efficiently, with a focus on ball security and accuracy. Bijan Robinson, running back. Robinson's dynamic running style makes him a dual threat in the ground game and in the passing game. Grady Jarrett, defensive tackle, a dominant interior force. Jarrett anchors the defensive front, making it difficult for opponents to establish the run. Injury report. Drake London, wide receiver, hip full participation. London has fully recovered and will be ready to contribute to the passing game. Kaderil Hodge, wide receiver, neck full participation. Hodge is cleared and will provide depth to the wide receiver core. Minnesota Vikings overview. The Minnesota Vikings enter their Week 14 matchup with the Atlanta Falcons under the leadership of quarterback Sam Darnold. Darnold has shown improvement this season, helping the Vikings maintain a balanced offense with solid performances from running back Aaron Jones and wide receiver Justin Jefferson. The Vikings offense will rely on efficient passing and a strong ground game to exploit Atlanta's defense. Meanwhile, Minnesota's defense will need to ramp up its pass rush and effectively cover Atlanta's playmakers, especially Bijan Robinson. Key players. Sam Darnold, quarterback, the leader of the offense, responsible for making crucial decisions and delivering the ball to playmakers. Aaron Jones, running back, a versatile player who contributes both on the ground and in the passing game. Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, a dynamic receiver who poses a big play threat to any defense. Injury report. Josh Oliver, tight end, wrist/ankle, did not participate, DNP. Jay Ward, safety, elbow, did not participate, DNP. Time to analyze what we expect from the Falcons versus Vikings matchup. 1. Moneyline betting strategy. Current odds. Vikings -224, Falcons +185. Analysis. The Minnesota Vikings come into this matchup as strong favorites, given their recent form and overall consistency. With Kirk Cousins leading a high-performing offense, the Vikings have shown they can take down strong teams. However, the Falcons, led by Sam Darnold, have the ability to pull an upset if they can keep pace with Minnesota's offense. Atlanta will rely heavily on Bijan Robinson to control the game tempo and keep the Vikings' defense on their heels. Strategy. Bet on the Vikings, -224. Minnesota has been more reliable, especially at home, and should secure the win, but it's a bit more expensive at this price. Bet on the Falcons, +185 for a riskier play. The Falcons have the tools to challenge Minnesota, particularly if they can exploit the Vikings' defensive vulnerabilities. Potential payout. Vikings, -224, a $100 bet would return $144.64, including the original $100 stake. Falcons, +185, a $100 bet would return $285, including the original $100 stake. 2. Point spread betting strategy. Spread. Vikings -4.5, Falcons plus 4.5. Analysis. The Vikings are favored to cover the spread by 4.5 points. They have been consistent with their recent victories and are strong favorites, particularly with Justin Jefferson leading the offense. The Falcons, though competitive, have had a tough time in recent losses and will need a solid performance from Robinson and their defense to keep the game within the spread. Strategy. Bet on Vikings to cover, minus 4.5. The Vikings' offense and overall team strength should allow them to win by at least a touchdown. Falcons to cover, plus 4.5. If Atlanta's defense can slow down Cousins and stop the Vikings from scoring easily, they might keep the game close enough to cover the spread. 3. Over, under, total points. Betting strategy. Over, under, 45.5. Analysis. Given both teams' offensive and defensive capabilities, this game could be either high-scoring or grinded out on the ground. The Vikings' offense has been productive, but their defense can be leaky, which opens up opportunities for the Falcons to put up points. Atlanta's offense, especially with Robinson, may struggle against the Vikings' defense, but could find success in the running game. The over seems like a fair bet with both teams capable of scoring. Strategy. Bet the over, 45.5, with both teams capable of putting up decent points. This total feels manageable, especially with Atlanta's offense looking to bounce back. Consider live betting. If one team jumps out to an early lead, betting on the over later in the game might give you better value as the pace quickens. 4. Player props betting strategy. Key players. Kirk Cousins, quarterback. Expect Cousins to hit his passing yards prop, particularly against Atlanta's defense, which has been susceptible to the pass. Justin Jefferson, wide receiver. Jefferson is expected to have a solid performance, with props for receiving yards and touchdowns being good options to consider. Bijan Robinson, running back. Robinson could surpass his rushing yards prop if Atlanta sticks to the run game to control the clock and keep Minnesota's offense off the field. Sam Darnold, quarterback. Darnold might have a chance to exceed passing yard props if he can exploit the Vikings' defense and maintain possession with quick passes to his receivers. Strategy. Cousins passing yards. Bet on Cousins to hit his passing yards prop as he is expected to throw a lot in this game, particularly with Jefferson a focal point. Robinson rushing yards. Given the likely run-heavy strategy from the Falcons, Robinson could easily surpass his rushing prop if Atlanta stays competitive. 5. Game props betting strategy. First team to score. The Vikings' offense should be the first to strike, given their quick start tendencies and the Falcons' potential struggles to defend early. Total sacks. Minnesota's pass rush should be able to generate some pressure, and the Falcons' offensive line will need to do well to keep Darnold protected. Strategy. Bet on Vikings to score first. Given their offensive prowess, the Vikings are likely to get on the board first. Bet on over total sacks. Both teams have some vulnerabilities in protecting the quarterback, making the over on total sacks a decent play. 6. First half spread / total betting strategy. First half spread. Vikings minus 3.5. First half total. Over 21.5. Analysis. The Vikings are likely to jump out to an early lead with their offense, which could help them cover the first half spread. Atlanta's ability to stay within striking distance will rely on running the ball effectively and making a few key plays in the passing game. Strategy. Bet on Vikings to cover the first half spread, minus 3.5. The Vikings should have a lead of at least 4 points at halftime. Bet the over on first half total, 21.5. Expect both teams to score enough in the first half for the total to go over, especially with the Vikings likely scoring early. 7. Parlay betting strategy. Parlay 1. Vikings to cover, minus 4.5. Over 45.5 total points. Cousins over 250 passing yards. Analysis. This parlay leverages the Vikings' strength, expecting them to win by more than 4.5 points, while Cousins puts up strong numbers through the air, and the total points exceed 45.5. Parlay 2. Falcons to cover, plus 4.5. Robinson over 75 rushing yards. Total points over 45.5. Analysis. If you're feeling risk tolerant, a bet on the Falcons covering the spread with Robinson having a big game could pay off, especially if the total points go over. The Vikings are favored in Week 14, but the Falcons have potential for an upset, with key bets focusing on the spread, over, under totals, and player props like Cousins and Robinson. Let's shift gears and dive into the next matchup. New Orleans Saints vs. New York Giants. New Orleans Saints overview. The New Orleans Saints are looking to bounce back in Week 14 after facing several challenges in their recent games. Their offense, led by quarterback Derek Carr, has shown flashes of brilliance, though consistency remains a concern. The Saints have a solid defense, particularly in their secondary, but they will need to capitalize on key turnovers and improve their offensive rhythm to compete effectively. As the team heads into their matchup against the New York Giants, their ability to manage the game and execute key plays will be crucial to maintaining momentum. Key players. Derek Carr, quarterback, the engine of the Saints' offense. Carr's performance will be key to their success. Cameron Jordan, defensive end, a veteran pass rusher. Jordan's ability to disrupt the opposing quarterback is crucial. Chris Olave, wide receiver, a top target for Carr. Olave's role will be pivotal in providing explosive plays. Injury report. Eric McCoy, C/G, groined DNP. McCoy's injury could affect the offensive line's protection and running game. Lucas Patrick, OL, calf DNP. Patrick's absence would further strain the offensive line depth, potentially impacting both the passing and rushing offense. New York Giants overview. The Giants are facing challenges in both offense and defense this season. Quarterback Drew Lock continues to adjust, and the offense struggles with consistency, particularly in the red zone. Their defense, led by defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, still provides key plays but has been inconsistent in limiting yards. The Giants' offensive line has been a weak spot, putting pressure on their quarterback to make quick decisions. Key players. Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle, a dominant force on the Giants' defensive line. Tyrone Tracy Jr., wide receiver, one of the main contributors to their passing attack. Injury report. Jermaine Illuminor, offensive lineman, quad, did not practice. Azeez Ojulari, outside linebacker, toe, did not practice. Time to analyze what we expect from the next matchup: Saints vs. Giants. 1. Moneyline betting strategy. Current odds. Saints minus 160, Giants plus 140. Analysis. The Saints come in as the favorites with a solid offense led by Derek Carr and Alvin Kamara, which should give them an edge over the struggling Giants. New York's offense, led by Drew Lock, has been inconsistent, and their defense has struggled against teams with explosive offensive units. Strategy. Bet on the Saints. Minus 160, New Orleans is the safer bet with their balanced offense and defense. Bet on the Giants. Plus 140, a risky bet. But if the Giants' defense can step up and disrupt Carr's passing game, they may pull off an upset. Potential payout. Saints. Minus 160. A $100 bet returns $162.50. Giants. Plus 140. A $100 bet returns $240. 2. Point spread betting strategy. Spread. Saints minus 3. Analysis. With the Saints favored by 3 points, their defense should limit the Giants' offense, which has struggled to score efficiently. The Giants will need to rely on their defense to stay in the game, but New Orleans' consistency should carry them to a win. Strategy. Bet on Saints to cover. Minus 3, with the Saints' stronger offense and better overall performance this season, they should cover the spread. Giants to cover, plus 3, if New York can hold New Orleans' offense in check, they could keep the game close enough to cover the spread. 3. Over, under, total points. Betting strategy. Over, under, 44.5. Analysis. With both teams struggling at times offensively, the under might be a safer play. The Saints have a capable offense but should rely heavily on their defense to stifle the Giants. The Giants' offense could be held to under 20 points, keeping the total score low. Strategy. Bet the under 44.5, with both teams struggling offensively and strong defensive play. This game could end up being a lower scoring affair. Consider live betting. If the game is high-paced in the early minutes, live betting on the over could become an option if both teams adjust. 4. Player props betting strategy. Key players. Derek Carr, quarterback Carr will be a key player, and prop bets for passing yards and touchdowns are worth considering. Alvin Kamara, running back, Kamara's rushing and receiving yards props should be solid, given his dual threat capability. Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle, Lawrence can disrupt the Saints' offensive line, making sack and tackle props worth watching. Strategy. Carr passing yards. Carr should hit his passing yards prop, given the Giants' defensive struggles against the pass. Kamara receiving yards. Kamara is likely to exceed his receiving yards prop, especially with the Giants' defense focusing on stopping him on the ground. 5. Game props betting strategy. First team to score. The Saints are likely to score first, given their efficient offense and the Giants' defensive struggles. Total sacks. Expect multiple sacks from New Orleans' pass rush, with Cam Jordan and others targeting Drew Lock. Strategy. Bet on Saints to score first. With their strong offense, the Saints are the favorites to score first. Take the over on total sacks. Given the pressure the Saints can apply to Lock, expect several sacks in the game. 6. First half spread / total betting strategy. First half spread, Saints -2. First half total, under 22.5. Analysis. New Orleans should build a small lead by halftime, thanks to their well-balanced offense and strong defense. The under on total points is a safer bet, considering both teams' struggles to score efficiently. Strategy. Bet on Saints to cover the first half spread, -2. Expect New Orleans to lead at halftime. Bet the under on first half total, 22.5. With both teams' inability to consistently score, the first half could remain low-scoring. 7. Parlay betting strategy. Parlay 1. Saints to cover, -3. Under 44.5 total points. Derek Carr over 230 passing yards. Analysis. A parlay on the Saints covering the spread, the total staying under, and Carr hitting his passing yards prop should be a solid wager, given the current form of both teams. Parlay 2. Saints to score first. Alvin Kamara over 50 rushing yards. Dexter Lawrence over 0.5 sacks. Analysis. A parlay on the Saints scoring first, Kamara exceeding his rushing yards, and Lawrence recording a sack offers value based on team trends. For the Saints vs. Giants Week 14 matchup, the Saints are the safer betting choice due to their balanced offense and strong defense, while strategic prop and parlay bets can add value based on game trends. Next up, we have another exciting clash to break down: Carolina Panthers vs. Philadelphia Eagles. Carolina Panthers overview. The Carolina Panthers face a challenging Week 14 matchup against the Philadelphia Eagles. Rookie quarterback Bryce Young continues to develop, showcasing potential in critical situations. Chuba Hubbard remains a steady force in the running game, providing balance to the offense. The Panthers' offense must become more efficient to compete with the Eagles, especially as they face some key injury concerns. Key players. Bryce Young, quarterback. The young quarterback is tasked with navigating a tough Philadelphia defense and making crucial plays to keep the offense competitive. Chuba Hubbard, running back, as a dependable rushing option. Hubbard will be a key factor in establishing the ground game against a strong defensive front. Injury report. Ja'Tavion Sanders, tight end, neck, doubtful to play in Week 14, which impacts the team's depth in the receiving game. Jalen Coker, wide receiver, quadriceps, doubtful for Week 14, further weakening the Panthers' receiving core. Philadelphia Eagles overview. The Philadelphia Eagles are entering this matchup with momentum, bolstered by strong performances from quarterback Jalen Hurts and running back Saquon Barkley. Hurts has consistently delivered through the air and on the ground, proving to be one of the most versatile quarterbacks in the league. Barkley's contributions as a dynamic runner and receiver have added another layer of depth to the Eagles' offense. The Eagles' balanced attack, coupled with a disciplined defense, continues to make them a formidable contender as they aim to solidify their postseason standing. Key players. Jalen Hurts, quarterback. Hurts' ability to extend plays with his legs and make precise throws keeps defenses guessing. Saquon Barkley, running back. Barkley remains an explosive threat, capable of turning any play into a big gain with his blend of speed and power. Injury report. Sidney Brown, safety, knee doubtful for Week 14. Darius Slay, cornerback, concussion doubtful for Week 14. On to our predictions for the next big game: Panthers vs. Eagles. 1. Moneyline betting strategy. Current odds. Eagles -350, Panthers +300. Analysis. The Eagles are strong favorites due to their explosive offense, led by Jalen Hurts. While the Panthers have shown flashes of potential, they remain inconsistent on offense and face a tough test against a solid Eagles defense. Strategy. Bet on the Eagles, -350. The Eagles' overall strength should give them the edge. Bet on the Panthers, plus 300 riskier, but could yield high returns if Carolina's defense steps up. Potential payout: Eagles, minus 350, a $100 bet on the Eagles would return $128.57, including the original stake. Panthers, plus 300, a $100 bet on the Panthers would return $400, including the original stake. 2-point spread betting strategy. Spread: Eagles minus 7. Analysis: with their dominant offense, the Eagles are likely to cover the 7-point spread. Carolina's defense will need to play its best to stay close. Strategy: bet on the Eagles to cover, minus 7. With Philadelphia's offensive depth, they should win by more than 7 points. Bet on the Panthers to cover, plus 7. If the Panthers' defense puts pressure on Hurts, they might keep it close. 3. Over, under, total points. Betting strategy: over, under, 47.5. Analysis: the Eagles are expected to score heavily, but Carolina's offense has been inconsistent. The game's total will depend on Carolina's ability to put up points and if the Eagles can control the pace. Strategy: bet the over, 47.5. The Eagles' offense should push the game total over. Consider live betting. If the Eagles jump to a big lead, the over could become more favorable. 4. Player props betting strategy. Key players: Jalen Hurts, quarterback. As a dual-threat quarterback, Hurts is likely to surpass both his passing and rushing yards props. A.J. Brown, wide receiver. Brown should exceed his receiving yards prop, given Carolina's struggles against top-tier receivers. Strategy: Hurts passing/rushing yards. Hurts' dual-threat ability makes him a good bet to exceed his combined yards prop. Brown receiving yards. Brown is expected to have a big game, so over on his receiving yards prop is a solid pick. 5. Game props betting strategy. First team to score. The Eagles, with their fast-paced offense, are likely to score first. Total sacks. The Eagles' defense, particularly their pass rush, should be able to put pressure on Bryce Young. Strategy: bet on the Eagles to score first. The Eagles' high-octane offense gives them the edge here. Take the over on total sacks. The Eagles' pass rush will likely generate multiple sacks. 6. First half spread/total betting strategy. First half spread. Eagles minus 4, first half total. Over 24. Analysis: Philadelphia is expected to build an early lead with their efficient offense, while Carolina might struggle early on. Strategy: bet on the Eagles to cover the first half spread. Minus 4. Philadelphia should lead by at least a touchdown by halftime. Bet the over on first half total, 24. Both teams are likely to score in the first half, pushing the total above 24. 7. Parlay betting strategy. Parlay 1. Eagles to cover, minus 7. Over 47.5 total points. Hurts over 250 passing yards, parlay 2. Eagles to score first. Brown over 75 receiving yards. Eagles to win by 14 to 20 points. The Eagles' strong offense and defense make them heavy favorites, with betting strategies highlighting their advantage across spreads, props, and parlays. Next up, we have another exciting clash to break down: Cleveland Browns versus Pittsburgh Steelers. Cleveland Browns overview. The Cleveland Browns enter Week 14 with a strong defense, highlighted by standout players like Myles Garrett. They have struggled to find consistency offensively, with quarterback Jameis Winston at the helm. While their rushing game has been steady with Jerome Ford, the Browns' challenge will be overcoming Pittsburgh's defense in a crucial divisional matchup. They will need to execute better on offense and avoid turnovers to secure a win and prevent a season series sweep by the Steelers. Key players: Myles Garrett, defensive end, the leader of the Browns' defense. Jerome Ford, running back, key contributor in the ground game. Jameis Winston, quarterback, must improve his play for a Browns victory. Injury report: Cedric Tillman, wide receiver, concussion, questionable. Juan Thornhill, safety, calf, questionable. Pittsburgh Steelers overview. The Steelers' defense, led by T.J. Watt, remains a top force in the league, with the ability to disrupt opposing offenses. Despite strong defense, Russell Wilson's offense has faced struggles, particularly with consistency. Improving execution in the passing game and leveraging Najee Harris's abilities on the ground will be key for Pittsburgh to stay competitive in their divisional matchup with the Browns. Key players: T.J. Watt, OLB, a game-changer with his elite pass rushing. Russell Wilson, QB, needs to elevate his play for offensive success. Najee Harris, RB, integral to controlling the clock and ground game. Injury report. Pat Freiermuth, TE. Concussion, questionable. Minka Fitzpatrick, S. Neath, questionable. Let's dive into how we think the next matchup Browns vs Steelers will play out. 1. Moneyline betting strategy. Current odds. Steelers -250, Browns +210. Analysis. The Pittsburgh Steelers enter as the favorites, priced at -250, largely due to their stout defense, particularly from TJ Watt, and their overall ability to control the game through special teams and defense. Cleveland's defense, led by Myles Garrett, can make it difficult for any team to score, but their offense struggles with consistency. Pittsburgh is favored, but Cleveland has the potential to create upsets if their defense dominates and they capitalize on mistakes. Strategy. Bet on the Steelers, -250. Pittsburgh's defense and special teams will likely be the deciding factor. They should win the game, though Cleveland's defense will make it close. Bet on the Browns, +210, a riskier bet. But if Cleveland's defense can create turnovers and capitalize on short fields, they could secure an upset. Potential payout. Steelers, -250. A $100 bet on the Steelers would return $140, including the original $100 stake. Browns, +210. A $100 bet on the Browns would return $310, including the original $100 stake. 2. Point spread betting strategy. Spread. Steelers -6. Analysis. The Steelers are favored by 6 points, and while their defense should give them a significant edge, Cleveland's defense has the tools to make this game close. Pittsburgh's offense is unlikely to run away with the game, making it difficult to cover a larger spread. The Browns' defense, particularly Myles Garrett, could disrupt the Steelers enough to keep the score closer than expected. Strategy. Bet on Steelers to cover, -6. Pittsburgh's defense and special teams will help them cover the spread, but it will be a tough battle with Cleveland's defense making life difficult. Browns to cover, +6. Cleveland's defense should help keep this game within a 6-point margin, providing good value if they can limit Pittsburgh's offense. 3. Over, under, total points. Betting strategy. Over, under, 40.5. Analysis. Both teams are strong defensively, and with inconsistent offensive play, it is unlikely to see a high-scoring game. Both the Steelers and the Browns have managed to grind out low-scoring affairs, and this matchup should follow the same pattern. Strategy. Bet the under, 40.5, given both teams' strong defensive play and offensive struggles. A low-scoring game is anticipated, making the under a solid bet. Consider live betting. If one team gets an early lead, live betting on the under could be profitable as the game slows down. 4. Player props betting strategy. Key players. Myles Garrett, defensive end. Garrett is expected to play a major role in disrupting Pittsburgh's offensive line. Look for props on his sack total, as he could add significant pressure on Pittsburgh's quarterback. TJ Watt, outside linebacker, what is expected to be a constant disruptor in this game. Betting on him to record a sack or multiple tackles for loss makes sense given the Browns' struggles in protection. Jerome Ford, running back. Ford should see a good number of carries and could surpass his rushing yards prop if the Browns focus on controlling the clock and establishing the run. Strategy. Garrett and Watt sacks. Both pass rushers are expected to be key playmakers. Betting on them to each record a sack is a favorable option. Ford rushing yards. Ford's prop bets on rushing yards could hit if Cleveland commits to the run game to control tempo. 5. Game props betting strategy. First team to score. The Steelers are likely to score first with their strong special teams and defense, potentially setting up good field position. Total sacks. Expect multiple sacks from both sides. Watt and Garrett are likely to be disruptive throughout the game. Strategy. Bet on Steelers to score first. Pittsburgh's defense or special teams could help them take an early lead. Take the over on total sacks. With Garrett and Watt both on the field, expect significant pressure and several sacks. 6. First half spread / total betting strategy. First half spread. Steelers -3. First half total. Under 21.5. Analysis. Pittsburgh's defense will likely give them a lead in the first half, though the Browns' defense should keep it close. The game is expected to be low-scoring early on, as both teams focus on controlling the clock and limiting mistakes. Strategy. Bet on Steelers to cover the first half spread. -3. Pittsburgh's defense will likely give them a small but solid lead at halftime. Bet the under on first half total, 21.5. Both teams will focus on defense and control of the clock, likely leading to a lower scoring first half. 7. Parlay betting strategy. Parlay 1. Steelers to cover, -6. Under 40.5 total points. Ford over 70 rushing yards. Analysis. A parlay on the Steelers covering the spread, the total staying under, and Ford surpassing his rushing yards prop could prove profitable given the expected game flow. Parlay 2. Steelers to score first. Garrett over 0.5 sacks. Browns to cover, +6. Analysis. Pittsburgh is likely to score first. Garrett is expected to make an impact with at least 1 sack, and Cleveland's defense should help them cover the spread. The Steelers' strong defense and special teams make them favorites, but Cleveland's defensive prowess offers upset potential, with betting value across spreads, props, and the total under. Let's take a look at the next matchup on the slate: Las Vegas Raiders versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Las Vegas Raiders overview. The Raiders have struggled to find consistency this season, with their offense still under development. Aiden O'Connell has taken over as the starting quarterback, showing flashes of potential but facing growing pains. Max Crosby remains a defensive leader, with his efforts helping to keep the team competitive in a tough division. The Raiders' success in Week 14 will depend on their ability to execute offensively and contain the Buccaneers' potent passing attack. Key players. Max Crosby, defensive end, the leader of the Raiders' defense. Aiden O'Connell, quarterback, a young QB with promise, looking to take the next step. Injury report. Jacoby Myers, wide receiver, ankle questionable. Robert Spillane, linebacker, knee questionable. Tampa Bay Buccaneers overview. The Buccaneers are entering Week 14 with a solid second place standing in the NFC South, boasting a potent offense led by quarterback Baker Mayfield. The team has excelled in the passing game, with Mayfield's 2,799 yards and 24 touchdowns being a key asset. Defensively, the Buccaneers are anchored by linebacker Lavonte David and defensive lineman Vita Vea. However, they have struggled in the run defense and are looking to improve against the Raiders. Key players. Baker Mayfield, quarterback, leading the offense with impressive passing numbers. Lavonte David, linebacker, a consistent force in the defense. Injury report. Jordan Whitehead, safety, pectoral, placed on injured reserve. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, linebacker, ankle doubtful for Week 14. And now, let's get into our predictions for Raiders versus Buccaneers. 1. Moneyline betting strategy. Current odds: Buccaneers -380, Raiders +300. Analysis. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the heavy favorites in this matchup, with a strong defense and efficient offense led by quarterback Baker Mayfield. The Raiders, on the other hand, are underdogs and have shown inconsistency throughout the season. While the Buccaneers have the upper hand, the Raiders could still pull off an upset if their defense performs at a high level. Strategy. Bet on the Buccaneers, -380. Tampa Bay has the advantage and is the safer pick here. Bet on the Raiders, +300 if you are feeling bold and want to take on some risk. The Raiders could surprise if they manage to disrupt the Buccaneers' game plan. Potential payout. Buccaneers, -380. A $100 bet on the Buccaneers would return $126.32, including the original $100 stake. Raiders, +300. A $100 bet on the Raiders would return $400, including the original $100 stake. 2. Point spread betting strategy. Spread, Buccaneers -8. Analysis. Tampa Bay is expected to control the game with its well-rounded defense and offense. The Raiders' offense has been unpredictable, which could make it difficult for them to keep pace. Strategy. Bet on Buccaneers to cover, -8. Tampa Bay should cover the spread with their consistent play, especially given their defensive prowess. Raiders to cover, +8. If the Raiders' defense can perform at a high level, they might keep the score close and cover the spread. 3. Over, under, total points. Betting strategy. Over, under, 43.5. Analysis. Given Tampa Bay's strong defense and the Raiders' offensive struggles, this game could lean towards the under. However, if both teams capitalize on their offensive opportunities, it could push the game total over. Strategy. Bet the under, 43.5, with the Buccaneers likely controlling the game and the Raiders' offense being inconsistent. The under is the safer bet. Consider live betting. If the game opens up with early points, betting the over could offer value as the game progresses. 4. Player props betting strategy. Key players. Baker Mayfield, quarterback, Buccaneers. Mayfield is expected to lead the Buccaneers' offense effectively. His passing yards and touchdowns are good options for player props. Chris Godwin, wide receiver, Buccaneers. Godwin continues to be a key target in the Buccaneers' aerial attack. Consider his receiving yards props. Max Crosby, defensive end, Raiders. Crosby's ability to rush the passer makes him a strong candidate for props related to sacks and tackles. Strategy. Mayfield passing yards. Mayfield should hit his passing yards prop, considering Tampa Bay's need to score efficiently. Godwin receiving yards. Godwin is expected to surpass his receiving yards prop, especially with the Raiders struggling to contain wide receivers. Crosby sacks. Crosby should be a major factor in the pass rush, making his sacks prop worth considering. 5. Game props betting strategy. First team to score. The Buccaneers are likely to score first due to their potent offense and the Raiders' defensive vulnerabilities. Total sacks. With both teams possessing key pass rushers, Crosby for the Raiders and the Buccaneers' defensive line, this game could see several sacks. Strategy. Bet on Buccaneers to score first. Tampa Bay has the advantage in both offensive and defensive efficiency, which should give them the edge to score first. Take the over on total sacks. Both teams have capable pass rushers, which makes the over on total sacks a good bet. 6. First half spread / total betting strategy. First half spread, Buccaneers minus 4.5. First half total, over 21.5. Analysis. Tampa Bay should take control early in the game, especially with their strong offense and defense. The Raiders will likely need to play catch-up, which should push the total points over in the first half. Strategy. Bet on Buccaneers to cover the first half spread, minus 4.5. Expect Tampa Bay to lead by at least a field goal at halftime. Bet the over on first half total, 21.5, with both teams expected to score early. The total should hit the over. 7. Parlay betting strategy. Parlay 1. Buccaneers to cover, minus 8. Under 43.5 total points. Mayfield over 250 passing yards. Analysis. A parlay with the Buccaneers covering the spread, the total going under, and Mayfield hitting over 250 passing yards provides solid value. Parlay 2. Buccaneers to score first. Crosby over 0.5 sacks. Buccaneers to win by 8 to 14 points. Analysis. Tampa Bay should score first. Crosby will likely record a sack, and a Buccaneers win by a touchdown margin is probable. This guide provides betting strategies for Buccaneers versus Raiders, covering money lines, spreads, totals, props, and parlays to help make informed wagers. And finally, our last matchup for this video. Jacksonville Jaguars versus Tennessee Titans. Jacksonville Jaguars overview. The Jaguars, led by quarterback Trevor Lawrence, have been a strong contender in the AFC South. With their offensive versatility and defense bolstered by standout players like linebacker Devin Lloyd, they look to build momentum in Week 14. Lawrence's leadership and the defense's playmaking abilities will be key in overcoming Tennessee's challenges. Key players. Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, key for offensive efficiency. Devin Lloyd, linebacker, vital for defensive success. Injury report. Tyson Campbell, CB, shoulder, questionable. Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, left shoulder, limited participation. Tennessee Titans overview. The Titans are focused on securing a playoff spot, and their success hinges on quarterback Will Levis continuing to develop. While the offense needs to be more consistent, the defense, led by Harold Landry, remains a strong point. Their ability to stop the run and apply pressure on the quarterback will be key against Jacksonville. Key players. Will Levis, quarterback, the young signal caller needs to lead the offense. Harold Landry, outside linebacker, a key to the defensive pass rush. Injury report. Tyjae Spears, running back, concussion, questionable. Roger McCreary, cornerback, knee available for Week 14. And concluding with our last predictions for this video: Jaguars versus Titans. 1. Moneyline betting strategy. Current odds: Jaguars plus 110, Titans minus 130. Analysis: the Tennessee Titans are favored due to their strong home field advantage and the return of their powerful running game with Derrick Henry. However, the Jaguars' offense, led by quarterback Trevor Lawrence, has been effective, and they are well positioned to pull off an upset. While the Titans have a good defense, Jacksonville's balanced offense and ability to exploit Tennessee's secondary make this a close match. Strategy: bet on the Jaguars, plus 110. Jacksonville has the potential to pull an upset, especially if Lawrence plays well and they limit Henry's impact. Bet on the Titans, minus 130. Tennessee has the edge with Henry's dominance on offense and their solid defense at home. Potential payout: Jaguars, plus 110. A $100 bet would return $210, including the stake. Titans, minus 130. A $100 bet would return $176.92, including the stake. 2. Point spread betting strategy. Spread: Titans minus 2.5. Analysis: the Titans are expected to edge out Jacksonville, thanks to their strong running game and home field advantage. However, the Jaguars have been playing well and could keep it within the spread or even win. Jacksonville's defense will need to contain Derrick Henry for the Titans to fail to cover. Strategy: bet on Titans to cover, minus 2.5. Tennessee's running game and defensive strength should help them cover the spread. Bet on Jaguars to cover, plus 2.5. If Jacksonville's offense is effective and their defense holds up against Henry, they could keep it close or win outright. 3. Over, under, total points. Betting strategy. Over, under, 42.5. Analysis: this game features two teams with strong defenses and a focus on running the ball. The Titans will likely rely heavily on Derrick Henry, while Jacksonville will look for balanced offensive play. The under seems likely if the game is played with a conservative pace. Strategy: bet the under 42.5. Both teams are likely to focus on the run game, keeping the score low and the clock ticking. Bet the over 42.5. If both offenses hit big plays or there are turnovers leading to short field positions, the total could exceed 42.5. 4. Player props betting strategy. Key players: Trevor Lawrence, QB, Jaguars, expected to exceed his passing yards prop as Tennessee's defense struggles with deep passes. Derrick Henry, RB, Titans, likely to hit his rushing yards prop, as he will be the focal point of Tennessee's offense. Strategy: bet on Lawrence passing yards over. With Tennessee's secondary showing vulnerabilities, Lawrence should pass for a solid amount. Bet on Henry rushing yards over. Henry is Tennessee's centerpiece, and he is expected to dominate the run game. 5. Game props betting strategy. First team to score, likely to be the Titans, thanks to Henry's ability to control early drives. Total sacks. With Jacksonville's pass rush, led by Josh Allen, and Tennessee's strong defensive line, this game could feature several sacks. Strategy: bet on Titans to score first. Tennessee's offensive game plan is likely to be more consistent early. Take the over on total sacks. Both teams have pass rushers who can cause problems for the opposing quarterbacks. 6. First half spread / total betting strategy. First half spread: Titans minus 1.5. First half total: under 21.5. Analysis: the first half is expected to be conservative, with both teams trying to control the clock and run the ball. Tennessee is likely to lead at the break, but the total could stay under due to the slower pace. Strategy: bet on Titans to cover first half spread, minus 1.5. Tennessee is expected to build an early lead. Bet the under on first half total, 21.5. Expect a low-scoring first half, with both teams relying on their ground game. 7. Parlay betting strategy. Parlay 1. Jaguars to cover, plus 2.5. Henry over 100 rushing yards. Under 42.5 total points. Analysis: a parlay that combines Jacksonville covering the spread, Henry hitting his rushing yards prop, and a low-scoring game. Parlay 2. Titans money line, minus 130. Lawrence over 250 passing yards. Total sacks over 4.5. Analysis: focuses on Tennessee's potential win, Lawrence's passing yardage, and an active pass rush. The Titans are favored, but the Jaguars have a strong chance of covering the spread or pulling an upset, offering multiple betting opportunities in a closely contested game. And that's a wrap for part 1 of our NFL Week 14 2024 predictions. If you found these insights helpful, hit that like button, share with your football-loving friends, and don't forget to subscribe. By subscribing, you'll get early access to our betting predictions, helping you make confident decisions every time. Your support not only boosts our reach but also helps us bring you even better content. Stay tuned for upcoming in-depth videos on the top betting sites, tools, crypto betting, groups, and exclusive bonus codes you won't want to miss.